Hello and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and if you want to see more. Coming up in today's episode, we have results and scorers from multiple different games. Women's Rugby League internationals between Italy and Ireland, as well as Wales versus England. The NRL game between Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs and Parramatta Eels. And the full fixture list between Betfred Championship teams and League One teams. So this is just strictly a results and scorers sort of deal, as we bring you all the important information from the games. First of all, we're going to talk about Italy versus Ireland. That was played in Udine in Italy, and the women teams put on a good show. Before the International Rugby League game in Udine, in the northeast of Italy, the Italian 13 team and Ireland Rugby League women's team observed a minute's silence in honour for former Italian Rugby League Vice President Tiziano Francini, who died in March aged just 44. So the scoreline may be 30 points to 6 to Ireland in this game, but the story of the game came from Alison Coleman, as she ran in a hat-trick of tries in the opening 16 minutes. Also, Storm Corbin scored one, with Rachel Lawless scoring just before half-time, all to set Ireland on the winning scoreline, as in the second half Charlie Willett scored with Frank Copley and McGuinness both scoring conversions. For Italy, it was a try for Alessandra Menotti on the 79th minute, when Rebecca Pantaleone was the conversion maker in the final kick of the game. As you would expect, Alison Coleman got the man of the match for the half-time scoreline of 24 points to 0, while Ireland recognised Rebecca Pantaleone's contributions to the game to award them Italy's best player. It looked like both sets of teams were a great advert for the team, as referee Tony Palacios, who is also the head of Spain Rugby League, said, "Moments that always remain with me. Thanks to both teams for their respect towards me and the work during the game." We move on to the next international game in the women's, as Wales versus England was played in one of the most pretty places that I've seen for rugby league matches. In the valleys of South Wales, we see the Cross Keys State Rugby Football Club host the England versus Wales International in the Pandypool Rugby League ground, and which was really picturesque, really green all the way around. And despite the 32 points to 6 scoreline, England were made to fight for every single inch of the game. Once they started getting field position though, England showed their class, but Wales made them work for it. After Goldfrop scored twice in the first half, as well as Amy Hardcastle and Hoyle went over the try lines all in the first half. It was Holly Jones that went over in the second half for the opening points. But the loudest cheer of the game went for Leanne Burnell, who was man of the match at fullback with the Wales try. Ruck converted, but England had the last word when Holly Mae Dodd of York went over in the final minutes, while Tara Stanley kicked 4 goals. I have to eat my words a little bit, as there was an NRL game on Monday as well, as Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs faced Parramatta Eels. I said in a previous episode that they condensed the games together for the bye weeks farther away. Farther away is right, but they played a full schedule. It wasn't really a bye week. But anyway, Having succumbed to the high-flying Panthers in round 13, the battling Bulldogs now confront Parramatta, who are coming off an impressive win over the Raiders, and then a bye to recharge their batteries. Interim coach for the Bulldogs, Mick Potter, will welcome back a couple of enforcers in Tavika Pangai Jr. and Luke Thompson, two men who will be primed to take the fight to a much vaunted Eels pack. The sides clashed twice in 2021, and both times the Eels came up with a resounding 32 points to 10 win in round 8 and 36 points to 10 in round 15, so Potter is under no illusions as to the challenge that confronts his men. If the Bulldogs are to spring an upset, much will rely on Matt Burton and Josh Addo-Carr, who combined for a couple of spectacular tries against the Panthers. With that, let's look at the teams. The Bulldogs first, as Corey Waddell moves into the starting side an hour before kickoff, with Raymond Fatala Mariner going to the bench. Ava Suamano Fangai drops out on Sunday with a calf strain, so Chris Patolo takes his place in the front row. Tavita Pangai Jr. is added to the bench as he returns with a bit from a back injury. Luke Thompson remains sidelined after being a late withdrawal from the Panthers game, suffering from a delayed concussion symptoms. The Eels have no changes from the midweek signing, as cult hero Makasivo has recovered from a knee reconstruction and will play his first NRL game since round 23 last year. Sivo's return sees Waka Blake move to the centres and Tom Opicic drop out. With Will Penasini suffering a head knock in round 12, he is though good to go. Origin representatives Ryan Mattison and Junior Paulo, as well as Regan Campbell-Gillard, will all be on the team and also the bench. The Bulldogs inspired Josh Addo-Carr with the victors in this game, as he ran in a hat-trick and the Bulldogs ran in 34 points to the Eels 4. Josh Addo-Carr opened the scoring on the 6th minute with a try which wasn't converted by Burton, but Jacob Kiraz, then two more from Josh Addo-Carr on the 47th and 52nd minute saw a much needed victory come the Bulldogs' way. There was still time for Will Penasini to score for the Penrith Panthers on the 67th minute, but Jake Averillo got his second of the game, scoring to make it 34 points to 4 for a full-time score. Matt Burton finished with 5 from 6 when it comes to conversions, but it was the Bulldogs' day. A victory for them. So what does that do to the NRL ladder? Well, the Panthers are still leading the way with 26 points from their 14 games, while the Melbourne Storm are chasing just 4 points behind in a game in hand. The North Queensland Cowboys continue their rise up the table, but the Broncos are still nipping at their heels with a game just one game behind. The Cronulla Sharks are in 5th now, after the Eels dropped down due to that defeat against the Bulldogs. And it's the Rabbitohs and Roosters, Seagulls and Dragons all separated by 2 points to find them last two playoff spots. The Raiders are just 2 points behind, but their defeat and being a game behind the Dragons sees them not so much in a promising position. Then it comes to Newcastle Knights, West Tigers and New Zealand Warriors, who need a lot of work to be honest, are on 8 points, while the Bulldogs have moved up off the foot of the table, which is now situated with the Gold Coast Titans. So after our short stay in the Southern Hemisphere for the Parramatta's game, getting beat off Canterbury, We move north in the hemisphere as we go back to the Betfred Championship, as a full round of fixtures was played this weekend, culminating in the game last night. No highlights of last night's game, unfortunately, as I wasn't well. This video was supposed to be out yesterday, most of it anyhow. So let's get into the scores. And we begin at Workington as they were defeated comprehensively against the Barrow Raiders. The Raiders ran in 10 tries as we see the returning Hakim Maludi get on the try scoring chart. But the Raiders, first of all, were convincing in the first half, 22 points to nil. But it was the second half where they really piled on the scoring as they scored 36 points. Jared Samet scored twice as well as kicking 9 goals. T. Ritson kicked 2, Stack and 2 from Creswell, as well as the aforementioned Maludi single try, as well as Costello getting on the try scoring list with 2 tries himself. Wasn't a good day for Workington. To say seeing this score was foreseen, as Batley beat the Newcastle Thunder 58 points to 18 is an understatement. It's an overestimation, should I say, as Batley ran in an impressive 10 tries against the Newcastle Thunder also, despite it being 12 all at half time. It was the Bulldogs that came out firing all guns, as we see Morton get a double, Leak get a double, Hooley get a double, Campbell getting a double, Gilmore scoring a try and kicking 9 goals, as well as Manning getting on the try scoring score sheet for the Bulldogs. The Thunder had tries from Noakes, Tate and Hanley to thank for, but 3 conversions completed for the Thunder, who were beaten comprehensively by the Bulldogs also. Next we come to the second win of the season for London Broncos as they beat Dewsbury 26 points to 18. Tries from McCarney, Foster and a double for Alex Walker and a single for Hall, plus 3 kicks from Ollie Leyland, sees the academy graduates of 9 involved in the London Broncos school beat the Dewsbury Rams. Knowles, 2 from Dixon and Greensmith were the try scorers for Dewsbury, while Beryl converted 1 goal. With incoming boss John Keir to impress, Bradford Bulls beat Sheffield Eagles 30 points to 10. Tries from Foggin Johnson and also Johnson, Pickersgill on his 1 game loan, and Miller with 2 tries saw Bradford win the game comprehensively. Jack Patton kicked 4 goals as well as a penalty. Despite it being 10 points to 16 at half time, the Eagles didn't show any efforts in the second half. That resulted in points being on the board. Wellham and the evergreen Thackeray got the tries, while Farrell scored the only 1 conversion for the Eagles. Halifax Panthers have travelled to Whitehaven and got the win despite losing 12 points to 6 at half time. Now, Dawson, King and 2 goals from William got Whitehaven on the road, while Tibbs, Woodburn Hall, Walmsley and Murray scored all the tries for Halifax Panthers. 4 kicks for Keys were the result of a good day for Halifax, who keep surging up the table. I apologise, it's Widnes who have John Keir coming in, but it seems like that he has a little work to do, as York went in 16 points to 14 victors, despite the Vikings also leading at half time. Craven, Ince with 2 tries and Owens with 1 conversion were the point scorers for the Vikings in a good first half, but it's the second half where the Knights came out and shown their class, as Brown and Marsh all got the 3 tries, as Brown got a double. Ellis converted 2 goals. And in possibly the game of the weekend for me, as Lee beat Featherstone Rovers 32 points to 12 in a rip snorter of the match. Oh, the hits were fantastic, some of the tries were spectacular. And it was a war of attrition. Really was. As the top two went at each other hammer and tongs, and Lee got the better of them. Lee had Christian Inu, who went in for the first try, but it was a bit suspect, as there's clear pictures of him before the ball was put down with his left foot, the white boot, out of field of play, with the linesman in view. John Asiata had a fantastic game with the ball and the boot, as he's kicked for the corners for Ferguson's 2 tries, after getting one for himself, were the icing on the cake. The aforementioned Ferguson has now scored 11 tries in 5 games. He makes this league look easy, but he knows it isn't, as he came up against the tough Featherstone defence. Gale put him under a little bit of pressure. But it was Edwin Apape that scored the final try for Lee Centurions. Lee were leading 18 points to 6 at half time due to the 2 tries from Inu and Asiata and 2 penalties from Inu, as well as a try and a conversion from Ferguson and Inu. Reynolds got the final penalty of the game. Mark Corella scored a spectacular try off an inside kick from it was Lloyd who put in the kick, who was playing in centre despite being number 9, and Jones getting the second try for Featherstone, and Mark Corella kicked 2 in a little bit bitty game for Featherstone Rovers. So what does that do to the championship table? Well, I'll show you. Lee Centurions now lead the way as they have 14 wins from their 15 games, with Featherstone losing against Lee, relinquishing their grip at the top of the table. Lee's mean defence has been one of the reasons why they have been so difficult to beat, but their forward line, their points for is fantastic as well, only being outscored by the now second place Rovers. York City Knights go to 3rd in the table thanks to their victory, and Batley move up the table, who have been the story of the season, to be honest, as they have been promoted from the League One, not the season before. Halifax Panthers are now in 5th place, with Barrow Raiders coming up into 6th. Bradford Bulls, Sheffield Eagles, Widnes Vikings and Newcastle Knights come in that order, but there's a gap opening up between Barrow Raiders and the Bradford Bulls. It's now at 3 points. Well, it's still at 3 points as both Barrow and Bradford win. But Bradford have gone above the Sheffield Eagles. Newcastle Thunder, as I said, with Widnes Vikings are on 10 points apiece. Widnes waiting until the 1st of July to get their coach in place and do some performances, I think. Whitehaven have got a 3-point gap to London Broncos, despite their defeat at home against Halifax. The aforementioned Broncos, second win of the season, move on to 5 points ahead of Dewsbury Rams and away from that relegation zone by 3 points. Workington prop up the table now with only 1 win all season. Finally, we move to League One in our roundup of the results and scorers of the lower leagues and all the games that were played Monday, Saturday and Sunday. In League One, the teams have all moved on to 10 games played, which is the halfway mark of the season, and we can see a clearer position of who's doing what and how well. Let's show you. The first game played on Saturday the 11th of June was the West Wales Raiders versus the London Scholars, and despite being 16 points to 12 up at half time, it was the London Scholars who came away with the win. West Wales capitulated in the second half and conceded 26 points to 0, despite having a good first half as mentioned. Coleman, Lee and Davis got the tries for the Raiders, while Simpson kicked the 2 goals. It was thanks to Bassett double, Leon Cox, Small, McDonald and Ramsey, who got the Scholars their third victory of the season, while Lions scored 5 conversions, which sees the Scholar move up the table. Next, we've seen Cornwall 12, Keighley Cougars 56, as the top of the table Cougars went in with 10 tries to complete a comprehensive victory down in the southwest of England. After a 28 points to nil half-time score, Chisholm, Stevenson, Young and Graham, Dane Chisholm with 2 tries and Graham with 2 as well, Spence Agoro with 2 and Everett scoring a single try, put the Keighley Cougars over the top for this winning victory. Comprehensive is the kind of the buzzword for today, but I'm trying to not to use it. Miller also converted 8 times. Cullen and Aaron Jones Bishop, with his second try in 2 games, got Cornwall's points over the try line, while Purcell kicked 2 goals. In what was called a free hit for the Cornwall team by their coach. It wasn't a good day for teams in Wales. Well, good weekend, apart from the women's national team, who did very, very well on the day, as Hunslet beat North Wales Crusaders 30 points to 22. It was a decent game, to be fair, but after North Wales were winning 16 points to 12, it was Hunslet that came back with the final victory. Allison a hat-trick from Doyle, as well as Jordan Roberts, and one from Ritty, all got the tries for Hunslet to complete a very good win. Symes got 2 conversions and a penalty, while North Wales Crusaders had Reed, Arvan, Rodden and Billsborough also thanked for their tries. Johnson converted 3 goals. Oldham have started picking up wins and have been doing so fantastically, especially in this game against the Midlands Hurricanes, as Oldham won 66 points to nil. Restall scored twice, as well as Andrade with a pair himself, and Hartley with 2, while Windrow, Thornton, Butterworth, Carr and Ridyard all got a try apiece. Ridyard scored 9 goals for this one-sided victory. And the final game of Sunday saw Swinton Lions beat Rochdale Hornets 34 points to 14 in a game that was shown live on the Sportsman YouTube channel. A good day in Sale for the Lions, as Brogan, Roby, Lloyd, Butt and Cox got all tries apiece. Abram was perfect with the boot, 7 from 7. The Hornets had Sheridan and 2 tries from Warrancy to thank for their scoring. Sheridan only converted 1 of their 3 tries. And with that, here is the table. Keighley Cougars maintain their 100% record as they've won 10 games from 10, as they march closer and closer towards the top of the table in the playoffs. Swinton Lions come next after regaining second spot with 8 wins from their 10 games, and have overtook the North Wales Crusaders, who are below them on points difference. Rochdale Hornets comes next in 14th, 2 points behind, and Doncaster, who had the week off this week, are on 12. Hunslet are followed by Oldham, Hunslet being the last team in double figures in this 10-game season so far, with Midland Hurricanes with 3 wins from their 10 games, as well as London Scholars, who are moving closer and closer towards the right end of the table. West Wales Raiders are only on 2 points with their 1 win, that being against Cornwall, who are bottom of the table with no wins so far. And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share this video worldwide, as well as clicking that notification bell for any new videos that may be coming your way. Tell me what your thoughts are of today's episode. There's a lot to go through, I know. Results, scores, Canterbury Bulldogs winning, shock, horror. I want you to do me a favour. In the comments, tell me who your team of the weekend was, your game of the weekend, and also your player of the weekend. My player of the weekend, Leanne Burnell of Wales. Team of the weekend, Batley Bulldogs. And my game of the weekend, Leigh versus Featherstone. What a game that was. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide. But in the meantime, please stay safe. I wish you all the best. And I'll see you in the next episode.